DC villains are pretty tough in the movies, but big screen baddies don't come anywhere close to matching the sheer power depicted in the comics. From metahumans to multiverse-ending threats, this is our ranking of some of DC's most formidable bad guys. With a name like Vandal Savage, you know this supervillain means business. An immortal warlord anywhere between 50,000 to 1 million years old, Savage has had a lot of identities over the years. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Vlad the Impaler, and Jack the Ripper are just a few of his many names. He's even claimed to be the biblical Cain, who killed his brother Abel and became the first murderer in the process. A Golden Age supervillain who first appeared in 1943's Green Lantern number 10, Savage was granted immortality by a passing meteorite before devoting his never-ending life to war and conquest. He has honed his superhuman skills in combat and weaponry over the course of centuries, making him one of the first known metahumans and one of the most dangerous villains on Earth at any given point in the timeline. Savage's mission to conquer the world has made him a deadly foe for DC's heroes in the past, the present, and the future. While he certainly isn't the only immortal villain to face off against the Justice League, Savage's world-hopping origins and connections to some of history's greatest monsters give him a sinister edge. It's not wise to mess with Mother Nature. Just ask anyone in Gotham City who has dared to cross Poison Ivy. One of the most iconic supervillains in Batman's rogues gallery, Poison Ivy, started her life as a brilliant botanist, Dr. Pamela Isley. After a scientific experiment involving plant toxins went sideways, Isley gained the ability to control people's minds using pheromones. That's powerful enough on its own, but what truly makes Poison Ivy dangerous is her connection with a powerful elemental force known as the Green. This mystical link grants her complete control over Earth's plant life, enabling her to rapidly grow and animate plants to use against her enemies however she sees fit.
You're getting to be a real thorn in my side, Batman.
And you're no rose, Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy has frequently been depicted as an eco-terrorist driven to destroy humanity, or at the very least, to make humankind pay for the damage they have inflicted on the planet. Recently though, Poison Ivy has embraced a more complex role of anti-heroine, thanks in part to her romantic relationship with Harley Quinn. Even when she uses her powers in Batman Volume 3, number 43 to control the minds of everyone on Earth, Superman included, Poison Ivy decides to save the world rather than let her plants overrun it. All of this makes her one of the more sympathetic DC villains that happens to have apocalyptic abilities. The Reverse Flash may not be the #1 most powerful villain in DC's lineup, but he's definitely the #1 hater. The speedster, who also uses the names Eobard Thawne and Professor Zoom, has a single unshakable goal: to destroy the life of the second Flash, Barry Allen. Hailing from the distant future, Thawne sought to recreate the accident that gave Barry his superpowers, eventually generating the negative speed force in the process. His ability to harness the extra-dimensional negative energy field allows him to travel through time and alter reality to suit his evil whims. As the Reverse Flash, Thawne is naturally the Flash's greatest nemesis. Thawne is behind every tragedy in Barry Allen's life, using his powers to rip his rival's existence to shreds. In one timeline depicted in The Flash, number 275, he kills Barry's wife, Iris. In another, as depicted in The Flash Rebirth, Thawne kills Barry's mother, Nora, and frames his father for the crime for good measure. Reverse Flash has become a kind of living time paradox, deliberately altering history for his own personal gain, or trapped in an endless loop of antagonism with the Flash. His abuse of his tremendous time travel powers, combined with his staggeringly cruel, single-minded hatred of his arch-enemy, make him one of DC's most fiendish villains. Get in his way, and he'll change history so you were never even born.
Enjoy your petty little victories, Flash. But no matter how fast you run, you can't save everyone.
One of the most controversial villains in the DC universe, Superboy-Prime is a dark and violent variant of Superman. His story is a tragic one. Superboy-Prime was an eager young hero before the Anti-Monitor obliterated his home world, Earth Prime, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths event. Following the crisis, Superboy-Prime was a multiversal refugee living in a paradise dimension, but the loss of his family in Earth Prime drove him to madness. In the limited series Infinite Crisis, Superboy-Prime uses his Kryptonian strength to break the barrier between worlds. What follows is a rampage that ends with the deaths of several heroes, including the mainstream DC Universe's Superboy, Connor Kent. Not even Superman's traditional weaknesses like magic and kryptonite seem to be able to stop him. Superboy-Prime was a persistent threat to the Teen Titans and the Justice League during his time in the spotlight, but he's best remembered for his so-called retcon punch. During Infinite Crisis, it's established that Superboy-Prime's punches are so powerful that they can literally tear the fabric of the DC Universe, resulting in timeline changes. Of course, this was a way for writers and readers alike to blame anything they didn't like in DC Comics on Superboy-Prime. You definitely wouldn't want to find yourself on the receiving end of one of his reality rewriting attacks. Just mentioning the name Parallax will elicit an emotional reaction from many DC fans, which is fitting for an ancient entity representing fear in the galaxy. When Parallax was first named in the Emerald Twilight storyline in 1994, he was believed to be Hal Jordan, a once great Green Lantern driven to despair after the destruction of his beloved Coast City. Embracing the supervillain name Parallax, Jordan slaughtered the Green Lantern Corps, in which was a tragic yet historic DC event. That single atrocity warrants a spot on this list, but Parallax's true identity is more complex than that. Published between 2004 and 2005, the 6-issue limited series Green Lantern Rebirth revealed that Parallax was a cosmic parasite once imprisoned by the Green Lantern Corps. In fact, Parallax is actually the reason why the Green Lantern Corps are famously weak against the color yellow. The embodiment of the power of fear, Parallax would go on to possess the Flash and Green Lantern Kyle Rayner as well. Any living creature susceptible to fear is vulnerable to Parallax's mind control powers and solid light constructs. Its evil influence has no limit. Parallax is the ultimate power source for the Sinestro Corps, who use their yellow power rings to spread fear and terror throughout the universe.
With this weapon, I can fulfill my true purpose. I can wipe the universe clean and create a newer, better one.
Forget the Bat family and the Super family, the Endless are the most powerful family unit in the DC universe, and it's not close. As embodiments of cosmic forces, the 7 siblings, Destiny, Death, Dream, Destruction, Desire, Despair, and Delirium are billions of years old. Unlike gods, they will continue to exist forever even if no one believes in them. While most humans naturally fear death or destruction, Desire of the Endless is actually the cruelest and most capricious of the lot. It's Desire's personal belief that all mortals exist to be their personal playthings. Their eons-long feud with their brother Dream nearly destroyed the world, as revealed in The Sandman number 16. Desire manipulated events so that their granddaughter, Rose Walker, will become a vortex, a being with the power to collapse the walls between the minds of every living dreamer and destroy the fabric of reality. Thankfully, Desire's elaborate plan to trick Dream into killing Rose failed, with the fate of the universe seemingly inconsequential to the vain immortal. As the personification of need itself, with the ability to bestow love and take it away, Desire wields enormous power over the DC universe. It's perhaps only their self-absorbed nature that prevents them from becoming a more active threat, something that every superhero should be thankful for. Created by the legendary Jack Kirby to be the DC Universe's God of Evil, Darkseid is one of the most iconic villains in comic book history. The ruler of the grim planet Apokolips is an iron-willed, stone-faced tyrant who commands vast armies of parademons, fires destructive omega beams from his eyes, and has raised worlds in his quest to find the mysterious anti-life equation. A persistent arch-enemy of Superman, the Justice League, and the new gods of New Genesis, Darkseid's goal is to eliminate all free will and hold supreme power over the universe. It's his hope that possessing the equation will make this possible.
You are now the instrument of my will.
Darkseid finally unleashes the anti-life equation in the 7-issue crossover event Final Crisis. With this, the villain is able to control the minds of nearly everyone on Earth and turn the planet into a doomsday singularity that risks ripping apart time and space. Although Superman and a specially constructed miracle machine ultimately save Earth, Darkseid drives one of DC's greatest heroes to do the unthinkable. While trying to stop him, Batman shoots Darkseid with a gun loaded with a special radion bullet, thus breaking his oath to never use the weapon that killed his parents. It's one of the few times that Batman has gone back on his biggest rule, and Darkseid personally makes sure that he pays for it dearly. In a world of gods and monsters, Trigon is as evil as Satan himself, though he shouldn't be mistaken for the actual devil. Trigon's origins are similarly mythical. According to the 1982 4-issue limited series Tales of the New Teen Titans, he was born after the peaceful mystics of Azarath attempted to exercise their darkest emotions and urges. Trigon is an interdimensional demon of immeasurable power who has wiped out countless civilizations. He's also a strong candidate for the worst dad in DC history, siring multiple children across eons in order to extend the reach of his evil empire. One of Trigon's hundreds of children is the half-human superhero Raven, who forms the New Teen Titans in order to thwart her father's conquest of Earth. She spent her life fighting his demonic influence on her soul.
You survive only because I allow it. What hope can a mere child have of defeating her all-powerful father?
But Trigon is way more than a bad dad. He represents the evil that lurks deep within the hearts of mankind, and that's what makes him especially terrifying. Just like in the real world, one of the most frightening and powerful villains in the DC universe is death itself. The skeletal, scythe-wielding Nekron rules over the land of the unliving and is one of several personifications of death in DC lore. With his powers of necromancy, he repeatedly crosses dimensions to battle the Green Lantern Corps, becoming a threat to all life in the cosmos by producing the Black Power Rings. In the crossover event Blackest Night, Nekron imprisons the Anti-Monitor as a power source and resurrects deceased heroes and villains as undead Black Lanterns. He even revives heroes' loved ones just so he can torment them further. It's all incredibly bleak, and it's only possible because of Nekron's sheer power. Nekron even has some zombified A-listers in his ranks here, as dead versions of Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, and even Superman are all brought back as Black Lanterns. Nekron's evil plans are derailed when Hal Jordan bonds with a cosmic life entity to become a White Lantern, and he uses his newfound power to condemn Nekron back to the land of the unliving. But can death ever truly be defeated? If this was a ranking of DC villains based on kill count alone, then the Anti-Monitor would easily conquer the #1 spot. The antagonist of this seminal Crisis on Infinite Earths storyline, the Anti-Monitor destroyed the entirety of the DC multiverse, killing innumerable worlds and their inhabitants in the process. A cosmic entity from the antimatter universe, the Anti-Monitor exists in opposition to his brother from the positive matter universe, the Monitor. The Anti-Monitor has the power to release a universe-annihilating antimatter waves, feeding on the energy of their destruction. When encased in his armored suit of full power, the Anti-Monitor has near unlimited strength and energy, at least enough to kill Supergirl and Barry Allen. When the Anti-Monitor attempted to alter the course of history by traveling to the beginning of time, it took the combined power of the universe's remaining heroes and villains and a punch into a star by Superman of Earth 2 to end the Anti-Monitor's threat. Although DC's heroes have since faced other world-shattering Crisis events, the horrors committed by the Anti-Monitor in Crisis on Infinite Earths will never be forgotten. As far as we're concerned, there's only one DC villain who is even more powerful. Ultimately, the most powerful supervillain in the DC universe is a godlike entity who created it. Perpetua is a super celestial, a nigh-omnipotent being who shaped the first incarnation of the multiverse with the Big Bang. After this, Perpetua was meant to die and return her energy to the cosmos, but she refused, instead overseeing the now unstable multiverse. As the immortal mother of the Monitor and Anti-Monitor, Perpetua is the definitive instigator of the Crisis on Infinite Earths and the other catastrophic Crisis events that followed. Perpetua is powered by destructive Crisis energy, enabling her to destroy realities and alter the universe at will. In 2020's Dark Knight's Death Metal, Perpetua battled the Justice League head-on, joining forces with a sinister Batman variant called the Batman Who Laughs to reshape the multiverse and establish evil as a natural order. Perpetua was only destroyed after the Batman Who Laughs betrayed her and drained her Crisis energy in a cosmic duel. But even after her defeat, her impact on DC history cannot be overstated. As far as the DC universe is concerned, one might say that Perpetua is the mother of all evil.